Welcome to the 245 podcast, where that's the amount of slices that both my guests today on the Takeover episode can eat in one sitting. Talk about it.
Hello, my name is Benny Freitag, and I'm very, very excited to be here today.
Let's go.
We're off to a hot start, I will say.
Yes. Who are you?
I am Zeke.
Deep voice.
Very deep voice.
Probably
Sounds very crisp.
Deepest voice here.
Zeke Thurston, Benny Freitag. Welcome to the podcast. You guys a little nervous today?
Kinda. I just realized it's weird starting a podcast without listening to your walk-up song. I always forget that. It always doesn't go well for me.
Yeah. Have you guys talked about a walk-up song, didn't you?
We did. That was mostly Zeke's idea, but I'm here for it as well.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Maybe. I'm not sure what song.
We'll add it in editing.
Yeah, we'll see if there's space for that. We'll see. All right, so all right, our listeners are a little confused because I just opened the intro by saying that you guys can eat an ungodly amount of pizza slices. Can you explain a little bit more about that, Zeke?
So, back in my prime, when
His prime.
I was, let's see, probably about 15, I would say would be my prime, which is
Peak teenager days.
pretty much ate a lot of pizza. It was awful. This is really traumatic. I don't like this.
Traumatic.
I don't know why I thought this was a good idea.
This is therapy, dude. This is your
This
chance
is
to
your
get it
therapy
out.
session.
I'm reliving
We're
through
here
the
for you,
moment.
Zeke.
For other people's entertainment, people get to listen to my pain. I love it. It's awful. I hate it. But, I always was able to eat, and sadly, it was a lot of eating without thinking, which is, if you want to be a pro eating competition person, you have to eat without thinking.
It's just instinct.
Yeah, but I mean, once you get to first off, you got to get through the stages of eating slices of pizza, maybe 6 to 8 starting out, and you got to work your way up to maybe like 3/4 of the entire pizza.
Yeah.
And then you have to start working on eating full pizzas. This
sounds like a goal of yours. Like you were leading up to
It was.
eating as
It
much
sounds like
pizza as possible.
you host like a pizza eating program or something where you coach people into how to eat a full pizza, but it's like a step-by-step process.
That's exactly what it is. I hate to admit it, but that's exactly what it is.
I started out skinny, and look at me now. This can be you.
He's still skinny.
It's literally like a reverse Weight Watchers. It's telling you how to
incredible.
gain weight.
Some people are into that.
Yeah.
Well,
It's just the America speed run.
over 65%. We're looking on track. Yay.
Yay. So what's your record of like slices of pizza eaten in a sitting?
It's the fisherman story where it gets larger every time you tell it. But for me, let's see. If I remember correctly, it was about 22 square slices, maybe about 6 by 4 inches or something like that.
So something you might see at like Sammy's Pizzeria or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very precise measurements.
Yeah.
And then...
Well, he's a man of the pizza. He knows his measurements.
course,
and then
of course.
the triangle slices, probably about maybe like 16 of those.
Dang.
It's hard to keep track. I think the total is like 34, something around there. I don't know.
Wow.
I'll
How many square feet of pizza is that?
I don't know. I didn't do the
How many
math.
cubic yards of pizza is that?
Yeah. How many acres?
Acres of pizza.
It's probably like point 0.3, I would imagine.
But how about like over a lifetime? How many acres of pizza do you think you've eaten?
That's a weird way of
So many acres. A small
anything
yard.
but the metric system. Oh boy. I don't know.
That's good land.
So you have 12 inches in a circle. That's the width. And then, I don't know,
Did you think you'd be
This
doing
room
math on this
is pretty-
podcast?
It's not that deep, bro.
This room is pretty big. I'd say
Could you cover each wall of this room with pizza that you've eaten over your whole life?
I feel
probably
like I
not
can,
wall to wall. I'd say maybe like 3/4 probably.
Okay.
Nice.
That's again, it's the fisherman story. I don't know.
Yeah. Benny, what about you?
I don't have any precise measurements as Zeke does about pizza, but I can say pizza is one of the few foods, or just bread in general, bread and cheese and tomato sauce, that I can just keep eating even after I'm full. There is no point that I can't eat any more pizza. It's magnificent. It's dangerous, but
He
it's
is
magnificent.
witnessing
Are you
peak
just an
metabolism.
incinerator?
I am. I've eaten entire pizzas before, not because I was hungry for it, just because I wanted to. But
Yeah.
I love it. It's incredible.
So you're that guy. If it's just if somebody can't finish their food, you
Exactly.
just hand it to you, open mouth, and just devour.
If it consists of bread and cheese and pizza sauce, then yes.
It must be those three things. All right. So I have no idea where this podcast is going to go. So we can talk about Zeke has been a very ambitious man, we'll say, with filming, with acting, and making short films. I believe you just mentioned that. What about, how is that going?
I'm a little too ambitious, is what I'm realizing. I've created a sort of like a mental, I don't even know what you would call it. I think a mental, just the worst place you can think of is just that. Literally just that. I've created way too many projects for myself. I've created, let's see, I have 4 scripts in the making, 2 filmed in quotations, shot. 1 is in editing, and then filmed another one for a college program, and then trying to refilm another. It's too much. It's too much. I
You
can't
have
do
too many
anything.
tabs open.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to close those down, bro.
That's impressive.
But I know you always go back to a certain day in Duluth.
Oh no, not that day.
I've heard this
Not
many
that
times.
day.
Yes. But our
Oh.
audience has not heard this.
Okay.
Can
So,
you? Yeah, I just need you to. This is the continued part of the therapy session.
just share my traumatic moments?
Yes.
Is this what this podcast takeover episode is going to be?
Zeke, Benny and I were here for you.
Okay.
It's very entertaining.
I
Yes.
see how this is. So we definitely did not have a solid plan going into this, and this is what this is turning out to be.
Yes.
Alrighty, I like it.
Look, the audience is wanting to know who you are. So
fair
I think
enough.
this is a great opportunity.
Fair enough. So the day started out like any other. Woke up at 4 a.m, bright and dark because it was not sunny out.
Bright and dark.
Because it's 4 a.m.
Yes. And I waited outside to pick up my cameraman because he was heading over here and we were all going to carpool up to Duluth. The place of filming is just south of Duluth at a place called Proger. The main place is Ely's Peak and the old WDR tunnel that they have there, which is a beautiful place if you've ever been there.
We have all been there.
And I recommend whoever is listening that you should definitely go there.
Especially when there's fall colors, because we went up when it was like a great time.
It's
It
beautiful.
was so great.
It's chef's
The
kiss.
chef's kiss.
But woke up at 4, waited for my cameraman and any other cast and actors that were supposed to be here. They got here at about 4:30, which was nice. My cameraman was sick with a chest cough, only got an hour of sleep,
Oh man.
Oh boy.
and somehow decided that he still was more than functional to help. I had lost my previous main actor about 2 weeks before filming, so I had to step into the main acting role, which, tip, never do. Never do. That is the one thing that you are not supposed to do. But if you're forced into it, I don't know.
You had to
It
make
sucks. Ugh, I don't ever want to make do ever again. But got up to Duluth. We had a pretty good solid first few hours because we were doing morning shots, just walking around certain things. The storyline was essentially supposed to be based off of this YouTube video called Mickey Never Came Back, which it's a animated short film about a Vietnam veteran who is remembering his traumatic memory of his service in Vietnam through the lens of Disney characters like Mickey Mouse, Donald, Goofy. It's a really good sort of film. If you're, I don't want to even call it a film.
It is YouTube gold.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's great, but had good first few shots for there. Then the problems really began, and I had created probably about, what would you say this door is? Like 8 feet, 7, 8.5 probably.
Something like that.
I created a sign that I was going to essentially dig into the ground, and well, trying to dig into gravel is hard. It's very hard, and the sign wouldn't fit. Couldn't create a hole big enough for it. Had no idea what I was going to do. So pretty much what I ended up doing was laying the sign against another trail sign, and was like, it's kind of covering it. It'll do. It didn't do, sadly. Another one of the sort of areas that we did film was at the peak, which that was fun. But Sam Durfus, who was essentially our grip, while we were hiking up to the peak, he walked about 45 minutes in the opposite direction of the peak, and we didn't realize it until we got up there, waited about another 15 to 45 minutes wondering where he was, finally decided to call him. And we're like, hey, where are you? And he goes, where are you guys? And we're like, we're at the peak. And he's like, oh, where's the peak? And I'm like, I don't know. And he goes, alrighty, where do I go? Gave him the directions to get to the peak.
I love how long it took for anybody to call each other in that situation.
I don't know. Everything fell apart, but it was a good experience. And at the end, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to mention that my original idea was to get white face paint because it was supposed to be live action, and I had run out of white face paint. So I decided to run to Michael's to see if I could find some white face paint. I could not. I then bought regular coloring paint, and it said on the label non-toxic, but don't put on your face. And we put it on our face, and immediately it started to burn our faces. So that's probably not good. And I'm sorry, Ethan, if you're listening to this, but way to power through it,
what
champ.
What a trooper.
You still film through it, through the pain, through the fire.
So after the paint started burning, did you continue putting it on?
Yes.
Okay.
We put it
double down.
I do have the chronological order of this all messed up, and I am sorry, but
it's okay.
We put our face paint, so to speak, at about midday, or no, not even midday. It would have been it would have been about midday, because that's pretty much when I ran out of our regular white face paint, so I had to go and buy it. And then we did that until maybe 7 or 8 at night. So a full 7 hours of toxic face paint.
Oh my God.
So I'm picturing you woke up at 4 a.m. that that is.
Yep.
And this all happened at 8 p.m. at night,
Yep.
just for reference.
And then we didn't get back until about 2 in the morning.
Oh.
Either it was about 1 or 2 in the morning. I don't remember, but
A 22-hour trip. Just to have some burning face pain and suffer and be lost. And
I mean, if you look at what we got when you color grade it, it's some of the most beautiful shots that I've seen.
so you're saying it was worth it?
No. No. It was not worth it at all. Well, I don't know. What would you mean by worth it? What?
So like the shots you got was worth all the pain.
Would you do it again?
Well,
Yes,
I'm going
that's a
to
good
do
way
it
to say
again,
it.
obviously.
The 22-hour day again?
Without the face paint, though. That's what I hope to not do. But
Yeah.
If you could go back in time, would you replay that day or would you do something differently?
well,
Would you
I don't
just
know.
call it off?
Or say, hey guys, we should maybe like plan this out a little better.
yeah, I would definitely plan it out a little better. But given that it's been around 2 years now since that happened.
Mm-hmm. And it's still a work in progress.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is.
Do you feel like a better man now that that's happened to you?
I tortured 3 of my friends for 22 hours with horrible chemicals and
Man, that sounds like some war
strenuous
crimes.
activity. So
Sounds like a really
I don't
weird
know.
Saw movie.
Yeah. They sound like they're prisoners of war or something.
Prisoners of Zeke.
well, at least they were good spirited through it. I don't know.
Well, there's that. But now you know kind of like what not to do.
Hmm.
And has that experience at all played into some of your more recent films? Like the Mario and Luigi one that you recently sent us?
Kind of. It's shown that one, I need to obviously go less ambitious because I don't have the budget for it, which should have been obvious to begin with. But I mean, it's shown that certain sort of scenes, trying to prepare for everything, even then, it's still tough. You'll find that you try to prepare as much as you can, and maybe half of the things that you want to do are gone because you're either not going to have the time for it, you're not going to have the ability to do it with budget, other stuff, but frankly, because you just can't.
Yeah.
You just can't. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
That is a tough pill to swallow. Just realizing you can't do something that you want to do.
But it forces you to be creative.
little arrogant me 2 years ago. Oh, how I should have known.
Just shaking his fist
Oh,
at Zeke from 2 years ago. Man. Well, I remember hearing all those stories and I was just like, because you had invited me on that trip to maybe play a role or something. Or no, you wanted me to do that main actor role. And that you stepped into.
I did. And you were like, no.
Yeah, no, I was after hearing all those stories, I was very glad I did not step into that role. So, yeah. All right. Benny.
Yeah.
You
Ooh.
have become an actor.
I have.
Have you?
So this is just all by coincidence. Zeke actually like made me an actor before I like.
Made is a strong word.
Well, you did. You invited me to act in one of your films, which technically counts as me being an actor now. But one of my other friends named Danny is trying to be a film writer or a screenwriter. He's very into filming, so he was going to a filming festival and he invited me just to tag along. I'm not super into filming, but it seemed like fun, so I went with him.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a booth there where you can just put in your information and then they just call you up to be an actor.
Okay.
So I gave them my information. They sent me an email. Hey, do you want to act? And I was like, sure. So the film isn't out yet, but it's called Void. It's just this really small, like, low budget film. And everyone who put in information got to be a background character. So I was just a student taking a class in the film.
Okay.
Just sitting in a chair. I didn't do anything at all.
Do you know roughly what the premise is of the movie?
I was only there for a small portion, but I think it's about like time travel and like quantum physics and stuff.
Oh.
And I think there's some romance at some point. I think.
All right.
Based on what I've got from the plot.
That is quite the theme.
Yeah, teleportation, quantum mechanics, and romance. So I'm very excited to actually see the film once it comes out, because I only saw small snippets on the set. But that's very exciting.
Yeah, you're on that acting list now, and who knows, this could be the start of your acting career.
It could be. I'm a little suspicious of the program though. They recently called me up and they were like, "Hey, so now that you've acted, you can pay $600 to get a face shot, and we'll get you an agent." And then your agent will hook you up with more roles. I don't know if I trust it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be the start of my new career in Hollywood, up with the big names.
Yeah.
But
like the 2 for 5 podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If anything has taught me anything, which that sentence didn't make any sense whatsoever.
I think it's taught me anything.
But shady things are usually probably not good.
But what are the chances it is? But
Hey,
if you don't take that
50-50.
chance,
What's
then you'll never know.
$600 nowadays? You can buy like a couple candy bars with that. That's pocket change.
Unless your local Cub goes down in business, and
I could be the next
everything is
Willem
90%
Dafoe.
off.
Power bombing Spider-Man through 4 floors.
That'll be me. Next Spider-Man film that comes out, it'll be me.
You never know.
It's gonna be Tobey Maguire, Peter Parker. Wait, I'm an idiot.
I mean, theoretically, you are correct. So,
yes. Miles Morales.
give me pictures of Spider-Man. That's Tobey Maguire. What are you doing? But sir, he plays Peter Parker. Who's he? This is my descent into madness. It truly is. It truly is a therapy session.
You know, Zeke, your life is going to be put into a movie, and it's going to be Zeke's descent into madness.
It's just me walking through life with Kermit on one shoulder, and then Yoda for like the angel and devil shoulders.
Who's the angel and who's the devil?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Is Kermit the bad one and Yoda the good one? Or the other way around?
I think it has to be the other way around, right?
Okay, Yoda's the bad one. Kermit's
Yoda's
the
the
good
bad?
guy.
Yeah.
I don't think either of them are bad.
Well,
You only have angels on
Just
your shoulder.
two angels on your shoulder just telling you nice things. That'd be awesome.
Where do the devils come in there? Or do they just not exist in your shoulders?
if they exist in my shoulders, we have a problem. We have a very big problem.
Why Kermit and Yoda?
So, this is another story, but I was invited to go to Valley Fair with a few people, and we went all day, and at the very end, the sort of, you know those drawing booths where you can get your portrait taken?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things that he could do was like have your portrait taken, but then you could have another character for it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. But I saw that to add like a character, it was like $10. But I didn't know if he was able to do another character. So I go, hey dude, can you essentially like do my portrait, but then over my shoulders put like Yoda and Kermit? And I was alone at this time, and it was like 8:00 at night. So I don't know. I am definitely not in a so or so kind of, I don't know, mood. But I mean, it was beautiful. It's great. I
Me
wish
good.
I have the picture of on my phone actually.
Well, we can
but-
put that on the Instagram at the 245 podcast.
Oh boy.
You're welcome, Micah. I see him smiling over there.
He's probably hating me at the moment.
For what?
And his thought, I don't know. He's like, he'll look at his phone and be like, why is there a picture of him with Kermit and Yoda?
When are these guys going to be out of here?
God, these guys are ruining my podcast.
What is it, it's like a 9:20 on a Monday night? I don't time.
He doesn't have time for this. All right. Benny, what do you do for work? Or what have you done for work?
For work, back when I was a young child at 14 years old, I started working at Chick-fil-A. Because
Yes.
of all fast food places, Chick-fil-A is the most reputable,
True.
I think, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in there. I worked there for a good long 4 years. Honestly,
Dang.
it's not a bad place to work. I mean, it is fast food, but
Mm-hmm.
of all places to start out, I think it's far better than McDonald's or other fast food places.
Yeah.
Um,
And there's definitely a good ladder to climb too. Like you can definitely make that your life.
Absolutely. I could have kept working there, but got a little old after 4 long years of Chick-fil-A.
You've done a presidency at Chick-fil-A. How do you feel?
A full term.
Yeah.
I did a full term at Chick-fil-A.
Will
Are you
you
gonna run
get
for your second
reelected
term?
next year?
I might.
Or,
Re-elected at Chick-fil-A.
yeah.
I might.
The new CFA president.
I've thought about going back there, but my pride won't let me, dude. If I see any old faces, they're going to be like, ha,
Do
look
they
who
have
came crawling back.
Do they have Chick-fil-A debates?
I've
Is
never
that
been
how
a
they
part of
decide
one, but
management? What side do you pick? It's like they have to do a vote.
Yeah. You go to Chick-fil-A Leader Academy.
That'd be incredible. Imagine walking into a Chick-fil-A one day and literally like in the main lobby, there's just 2 pedestals and they're having an actual like U.S. election
Or
going
before
on.
you put your order in, you have to cast a vote on a ballot. Who's the next president? Senate, House. Who's the next cow?
Oh, boy.
they do have people dress up as giant cows
Yes.
occasionally. There is the National Cow Day. They have a big, ginormous cow costume that people just walk around in. It's fantastic.
I don't know many cow names.
Bessie.
Like, oh yeah,
That's
true.
about it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know any brand names that are cows.
Isn't like Lamborghini's a
Lamborghini
Logo
is a bull.
bull? So it's like close.
Yeah. We'll call
All
it
right.
a cow.
Anyways,
All right, then.
back to Benny.
So Chick-fil-A treated me okay. Got sick of that. Decided to switch jobs. I kind of just stole this idea from my sister, but she's working at a mushroom farm. She's a vegetarian, so she's really into mushrooms. There's kind of like a meat substitute. So She
Okay.
really likes mushrooms. So she started working at a mushroom farm. And I was like, okay, well, that's interesting. I'll try and work there. And I got hired. Or like I got hired for like a testing week to see if I liked the job. They didn't really have any positions for me, but they set me on like deliveries. I
Ooh.
really didn't want to do deliveries. They originally wanted me to drive a dock high truck, like a massive truck.
Okay.
Like with a trailer and everything. I'm just like, I was 19 years old at
Yeah.
the time. I'm not even comfortable driving my own car, and they wanted me to drive a dock high truck. So I told them hell no. So they stepped down and gave me a Sprinter van to do deliveries in.
Ooh.
And I didn't want to tell them no because I already told them no to the dock high truck. So
Yeah.
You need a CDL license for those.
That's a Sprinter van.
Well, not the
No, for
Sprinter
the
vans,
dock
the
high
dock
truck.
high ones.
Oh, yeah.
I'm amazed they even asked you to drive one of those.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking.
Yeah, they looked at Benny and was like, yeah, 19-year-old
He
white
has his
kid.
CDL. Just let him be here.
I'm
If
not
he could drive
qualified at
here-
all.
If he could drive to the mushroom farm, he can drive a Hawkeye truck.
Exactly.
It was not a very professional place.
Hold on, don't expose him like that.
I wish R&R cultivation well. I wish no harm upon these individuals. But they set me in a Sprinter van and decided to send me off. I was really freaked out, dude. I was so unconfident. They gave me a bunch of advice. Like, they threw me in a van, like the mirror was broken, so I had to like use the bottom mirror, which was really weird and warped. Or like the side mirror was broken. I was so freaked out. I did not feel safe at all because I've never driven a Sprinter van before.
Did they even like let you test drive that?
Nope.
No, it was just, here's your delivery, just go.
Yeah,
just figure it out.
They threw me in the back or in the driver's seat and then sent me off.
That is one of the most non-OSHA sounding safe
It was
workplaces I've ever
non-OSHA
heard
compliant
of.
situation.
It was terrible. They just gave me advice like, oh, take wide turns, follow the speed limit. Like, that helped me at all.
Did you follow the speed limit?
I did.
Thank you. I'm very proud of you.
How am I supposed to take wide turns if it's one lane?
It really sucks. So I asked if someone could drive with me, like as some form of training.
Yeah.
With the van and 2 deliveries, because I've never ever done deliveries, and they just told me no, because why would they train me at all?
Yeah. Don't you need that?
So I remember them saying they would train me, but at the last minute they were like, no, you just have to go alone because we might as well just send someone else alone if they have to go with you anyway.
Huh.
So
what?
So was that your one and only delivery?
Yep. It was a very long day. You said you had a 22-hour day, Zeke.
Yeah.
I had not quite that long. I think it was 14 hours.
Still
For
long.
one delivery?
Yeah. Well, it was a bunch of deliveries. It was a whole route.
Oh, okay.
I think it was about 33 deliveries I had to make.
Whoa.
So they loaded up the back of the van with a bunch of crates and boxes. Some of them were to just houses, and you just drop them at the front door, ring the doorbell, done. Others were big crates that you have to deliver to like stores. It was a combination. So you plugged the route into your phone, and it told you where to go. Just make the delivery, and that's that. It's supposed to be simple, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing, so it was a lot harder than it should have been. A lot of things went wrong that day.
Like a lot of wrong turns, or
Not just wrong turns. I'm sure I made a lot of them, but a lot of the houses I had to deliver to were in the city, and really small street with cars lined up and down. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. Like, I didn't feel comfortable just stopping my van in the middle of the street.
Well, yeah.
To go drop this package off. So I just kept driving until I found a place to park, which was often like half a mile to a mile away. So I had to park a mile away and then carry these heavy boxes like a mile to drop them at this person's door.
Oh my goodness.
And then walk a mile back.
This might be worse than being a prisoner of Zeke.
It was pretty terrible. I've never been a prisoner of Zeke, but
To each their own, I guess.
so this happened a lot. I had to walk so far with so many boxes. At the end of the day, after like many hours, the crates in the back of the van started like getting smaller because I kept delivering them, and lighter. So as I made turns with the van, the crates just sort of started falling over in the back of the van.
Oh.
And mushrooms started falling everywhere. So not only do I have to deliver these things, I have to like organize them, pick them up, figure out which mushroom goes in which box.
So these are all different types of mushrooms?
Yeah.
Dang.
It was absolutely miserable. At the end of the day, I was just so scattered. There was like mushrooms in the back of the van that were just scattered. I didn't know where they went.
You're just picking up handfuls of them, shoving them in each box, hoping they fit. Do you get like a color palette kind of like chart, but it's just the sizes of the mushrooms?
Just a reference
You're
chart.
just like, which one? Yeah.
Just eyes
You're just
squinted.
lining it up.
Like the front of a candy pack, like the actual size.
Yeah.
Are mushrooms the new diamonds? Do they have carrots? Is that how that works? You got a
That's exactly
spyglass
correct.
you're looking at? Oh, wow. 24 karat mushroom. Hey.
24.
Woo.
24 karat mushroom. I think you should work there. You seem like you'd make a good fit.
Would you ever consider being a delivery driver?
Technically, I was. I used to work at a company in Little Canada. It was a contracting company called Primoris. Technically, we were installing on people's houses the new ERT module, is what they're calling it.
Oh, that's right.
That just reads your gas. That's technically deliveries, but it felt very less safe with the active threat of maybe being shot. I don't know if that's podcast worthy, but
what?
Yeah.
Where did this threat come from?
So technically what Excel is supposed to do is they're supposed to send out a notification about 3 months in advance. But the problem with doing that is, one, people are very dumb at looking their emails. Or, like I am. I don't look at emails. I should, but I don't. Or two, they do look at it, and then 3 months down the line, they're so busy with stuff that they forget. So there would be times when I'm in St. Paul, and that's a very sketchy place on its own at certain places, and I'd walk into the yard of someone, and I'd start working on the meter, and you'd hear the footsteps of just some random guy running down the steps going, "Hey, what are you doing? Get off my yard." And he's just, and then you hear the gun cock, and you're like, "Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry, sir." Thankfully that didn't happen to me, but I had a coworker who got a shotgun pulled on him. We had 4 people get the cops called on them. I had one of them called on me because I was acting suspicious.
Oh.
But I mean,
so is it like the owner of the house that calls it, or like a neighbor that sees you just like on the side of the house?
I don't know. I'm
doing
assuming
whatever.
I'm assuming it's a neighbor.
I would think it's probably a neighbor.
The hardest part is when people have fences around their house, but then they like bungee cord it and then like lock it.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, I can't get into their yard.
Yeah, you just
so you're
can't
just
get in.
trying to figure out if there's a latch that you can get into.
Do I hop the fence?
Because technically, we are authorized to be on your property, whether you like it or not.
Is it like legal to just hop the fence?
If you want to meet the gracious Lord yourself, then maybe.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't like it. I didn't like it. The pay was great, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
What's worse is that also, nearing the end, I had to go out of town more. And usually people are like, dude, going out of town's fun. You get to go to different cities. You get to stay in a nice hotel.
Yeah.
No. That is not. You are insane if you think that is good for you. It is not.
Or you must have just worked there a while that they just treat you nicely.
They brainwash you. That's what it is. You are brainwashed into liking it.
Excel Energy brainwashes.
That is my one political statement. You, the people, are being brainwashed into thinking that going out of town for work is fun. It isn't.
In your experience.
Brainwashed into enjoying yourself?
Yeah.
That's messed up.
Well, for us, we usually worked in Grand Rapids. That was the furthest place, and that's a 5-hour drive. But then you'd have to start at like 7 in the morning. You'd drive up. It would be like maybe 12 to 1 o'clock, but then you'd only get about 3 to 4 hours to work. But they wanted you to get 40 an hour done or more, because that's supposed, or not 40 an hour, that's too much, 40 in a day, which would have been roughly 4+ an hour. And you wouldn't have any time for 2 days, because you would have a half day getting up there, and then you'd have another half day going back. So you have a 3-day span to get the exact same numbers that you were getting up there as you would down in the metro, where
in the cities.
Yeah, where it'd be only a 15-minute drive away. And it was asking too much of people, sadly. But I don't know.
Especially if you hadn't been in the company for so long.
Yeah, it's weird because just it's weird. I had a love-hate relationship with it because I loved going out of town because it was a new city. I got to be on my own. I got to do new things. But the problem is it didn't feel like I had any time to do anything outside of those cities.
Yeah.
And it more felt like almost like a kind of like mini prison sentence. And then
You were exiled.
I was.
Grand Rapids.
That's exactly what it feels like. You're being exiled for, oh my gosh, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
It's just hazing.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's
you
sad form of hazing.
Yeah.
Ugh.
A mini prison sentence is a great way to describe any job.
I mean, that's what retirement is you escape prison. So
It's true.
there it is.
You get parole after all those years.
All right. So us three, we've had our own podcast in the past.
Had is a strong word, man. Had is a strong word, especially without having the first episode even up.
Yeah, one episode. Isn't it edited though?
It was until my computer tragically passed away in a car accident.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Poor man.
Died on
Gone
the
too
scene.
soon.
Moment of silence for
May
Zeke's
he rest
computer.
in bits.
Rest in bits.
You have the funeral march, but it's in an 8-bit soundtrack.
So we did that about games, right? And kind of our idea was we'd have a whole episode dedicated to a game or a console or something like that. And we just talk about that for however long we saw fit or like was necessary, how much we could muster. So I was kind of hoping we could do maybe a little mini bit of that. Kind of go back to the roots. Kind of revive.
I was hoping for a 6-hour podcast, man.
Well,
I was
we're
hoping
only like
to spend
40
half my day.
And we are struggling for ideas. This is the one thing I had in mind. So, what should we talk about? What are things that people? Because this is the thing. We have audience members of all ages. We have people that are still in high school, and people that are almost to retirement.
Let's do by eras. How about that? So
Ooh, I like
for
this.
all of the
For all the
90
six-year-old out there.
for all of the 90-plus-year-old people, let's I'm thinking we go way back, you know?
Okay.
Yeah,
we
way
go
back.
vintage.
I like this.
Okay.
Like 1860s. 1880s. I'm thinking, you know the game where it's like in a lot of especially Christmas movies where you see the kids running with a giant circle and they're hitting it with a stick. Do you think that would be a fun game?
What kind of game are you talking
For all
about?
our
I don't know.
140-year-olds out there in the audience.
I mean, you're just waving it over a stick and watching it roll. It seems pretty boring to me.
What?
I could get into that. I could find a way to entertain myself. with
If
just
anybody knows what that game is called, you can email us because you gotta help me out. I don't know. I don't know what that game is.
I don't know what it is either, but it's literally like you have a pretty good sized circle. I hope it's made out of wood, but I'm gonna assume it's like wood or metal. And you have a stick, and you're just running with it, and you're hitting it, and it rolls.
So it's like
It's
you're just
fun.
You're just trying to
apparently.
keep like a hula hoop or something just upright.
Yeah, essentially. I don't know. I wasn't
All right. Well,
alive during then, so I can't really give
I was
a
very
good
young back then.
one-to-one experience for you, sadly. But I don't know.
I mean, kids had to find some way to keep
Yeah,
exciting.
anything, I guess.
I guess if it wasn't like slingshotting the local ducks or something, or throwing rocks at something, I don't know.
Right.
Vandalizing the local town.
So then that's I don't know. That's just it's weird. It feels like back then was more boring yet somehow more fun. I don't.
Yeah.
It was harder to entertain yourself, so people were more creative.
Yeah.
I think.
So then you get
Yeah.
like 10 times the reward. Even if
Exactly.
it's- okay.
Kind of like some of your film stuff. You
Ow.
That wasn't a diss. I'm just saying you've learned that through your film stuff is sometimes things don't go your way, but you got to be creative with what you got left.
Learn is a strong word.
Experience, suffer through.
No, I haven't learned anything from this experience.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm worse off.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
All right. So what's this next era? What do you
The
think?
next era, maybe like, I don't know, like 1940s.
What's like the
1940s
Pong
to
era?
50s.
When was Pong made?
Pong, 19.
Let me look it up.
Ooh.
I think before Pong, there was those little those little wooden things with a cup at the end that you have to like throw a ball into.
Oh, how can I forget? 1930s, 1940s. Okay. There is a museum in San Francisco that is essentially like an old-timey arcade, and they have a bunch of different various games, if you want to call it. It's more so like, I don't even know how you would describe it. It's like it's almost kind of like a mechanical, like, not pinball machine, but it's like a mechanical contraption that they would create to make like stories. Like they would show like the yeah, I don't know if this is actually podcast worthy.
No, I'm excited.
They show like the end to Queen Victoria with the guillotine coming down. And it's like a puppet, and it just goes dink, and then it ends. And you pay 25 cents for it. Yeah, and then they have other ones. Some are probably should have never been made because they're more not podcast worthy, I should say.
Not family friendly.
Yeah, but it's weird. I don't.
So you pay like a quarter. And it'd be like a contraption based story.
Yeah, kind of
something.
But then you would also have actual certain games. Like there was like an old timey like baseball game, almost like a pinball thing.
Oh, okay.
But you'd have to like swing the pinball arm, and then
The levers, yeah.
and then the ball would like kind of like light up certain lights to see how far you hit it. It was weird.
Oh,
Yeah. Although I
Okay.
don't know if it was old. I don't know. I'm starting to
is that
realize
like
I might not be as intelligent as I think I am.
Story of my life.
so you're thinking maybe that was the precursor to pinball machines?
I wouldn't say precursor. Maybe. I don't know. The problem is that it mixed old timey stuff with quotations with newer arcade stuff.
Okay.
So it was like divided between the two.
So like some retro theme stuff.
Yeah, kind of like retro themed. Some were really weird. Oh my gosh.
I bet.
There was one where like it opens with like a stage, and it's a play that's being put on.
Mm-hmm.
But the story goes that it's almost like a ballerina dance, and then someone gets pushed down a flight of stairs, and that's how it ends.
I want the audience to close their eyes and imagine this.
I don't. And then the curtain
The
closes,
curtain.
and you're like,
so
I just spent 20 seconds watching this. What in the world happened?
is there like multiple parts to this? Like, is there other contraptions that continue the story, or is it just
No,
that
it's
one?
just that one.
Just
There's other
Dang.
ones which I will go after this podcast, but like, it's just I don't understand it.
People back in the day were bored.
yeah.
Very also apparently racist, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Wow.
I'm not one to judge. I should be one to judge. Bad, very bad.
All right. So I looked up when Pong was created, and it said 1972.
Okay.
So I think that's our next era.
So we just jump between the 50s. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So we're into the arcade era.
Arcade.
So we have
you got
Pong.
Pong. Maybe like the
Pac-Man.
You got Pac-Man, because that would be, well, Pac-Man came out in the 90s, I believe.
Okay.
80s to 90s. So you have maybe like
What about the Donkey
Battlestar-
Kong one?
Maybe you have Battlestar Galactica, or you have Galactica. I don't remember.
Or the I think the Donkey Kong one is
Super
also
Mario.
on
Yeah, with the barrels.
Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah.
When was that made?
I'm saying.
Wait, no,
a
that's-
lot.
Donkey Kong Country. That's one of the new ones.
No. That's wrong. That's on the Super Nintendo.
Wow. To show how long it's been for a day, I forgot what I was even going to look up, and I said it 2 seconds ago.
Galactica.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Oh boy,
It's okay. We all
I
have those
acted
days.
for 6 hours, and this is what I get.
Oh, you
Alright.
acted for 6 hours?
Yeah.
In what?
So, like I said, it's supposed to be. Well, I never said this, but it's supposed to be a mythological mafia heist sort of style. The story is essentially an exact copy of the story of Prometheus, the guy who stole fire from the gods and then gave that fire, which ultimately led to technology and then horror.
Who are you playing in this?
Interesting.
I'm playing Prometheus,
Ooh.
but his name in the story is Theo, as we're calling him.
Oh, okay.
And it's weird because since it's low budget,
Yeah.
it's not. It actually, I can't say that. With it being low budget, we still were able to use school resources. And the first scene we filmed today, and it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen any of the film, but just off of my interpretation of what we filmed, people were saying that it's fantastic.
Okay.
So, I don't know, fingers crossed.
So you're in for a banger.
It's
very
50-50. Either it's okay or it's really bad. There's no such thing as good in this scenario.
Whoa.
They're just gaslighting you.
But pretty much acted in that for 6 hours, and then I'm here.
Dang.
So my brain power is all but gone.
Okay, I'm looking up when was Battlestar Galactica made.
Oh my gosh. I just looked up the movie, not the game.
Battlestar Galactica
Why?
had a movie.
Dude, I can't find it. I'm seeing like
It's not-
2024 versions.
I don't think it's Battlestar Galactica. It's something else. And I'm going to... Everyone is going to clown on me. I don't know my
Spaceship
games.
game, and it'll probably show up.
Yeah. I don't know. But basically, we're just going to the era of arcade games. So we have all of those. We have the Pongs, the Galacticas, the Donkey Kongs.
I'm gonna be controversial. I think those old video games,
Yeah.
they suck.
Really?
All of them suck.
Why?
Because they're so particular, they're so specific, and they're so difficult. And my pea brain can't comprehend them.
The P-Braid.
And a lot of them are just infinite. There's no, like, if you play Pac-Man, you beat a level, and you
Yeah.
go to level 2, which is slightly harder, and then you keep going.
Well,
And
that's the whole point. It's for the high score.
The appeal is for the high score, but I want to be able to finish a game, because no matter what, playing those games, you always lose and you always feel bad. There's no winning.
Yeah.
I want to win. I want to win the game.
Space Invaders. That's what it is.
Space
Oh my God.
Battlestar Galactica.
Ugh.
I have an inherent human need to win
Yeah.
that cannot be fulfilled.
I can see
Pac-Man.
that. But I feel like winning is beating the high score. And then like the next level, you could say,
Oh.
That is
is
true.
then beating the next high score. I don't know. Uh-oh. What is Zeke
Oh no.
found out?
He has his head in his hands.
It's Galaga. That's what it is. Not Battlestar Galactica. I can see where I got off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Hey, third time's a charm.
Ugh. It's weird. For some reason in music, I'm born in this generation, but for games, no. I have no knowledge. I'm old yet young.
I'm so bad at remembering those old video games.
Yeah. Yep. But I mean, I think those those old arcade games, because they're so hard, they really made the skills of our parents and grandparents, and then they fed into generations. So we're such great gamers now. I think it's generational.
I got this
honestly.
from my dad, baby. He was
Yes.
the Pong champion back in the day. That's how we met Mom.
At a Galaga conference.
Oh yeah.
Just like 15 Galaga arcade machines. We just pick the ones right next to each other, and then the rest is history.
If my dad sucked at Pong, I wouldn't be here right now. It's through pure skill that I was
And that's
born.
the butterfly effect. All right, next era. What are we saying? Like the
1990,
like the
early
like the
1990
Game
to early
Boys, the
2000s,
PS1s.
probably. I think
I'm looking in like the Game Boys.
Game Boy. You got
The-
you got Atari. You got GameCube at the newer end of that.
The SNES.
Maybe PlayStation 1, I want to say.
Did you guys have any of these consoles or games when you were younger?
Oh, no way.
I got the GameCube.
Okay, yeah. I also had a GameCube and I had a Game Boy Advanced.
I
And
didn't-
those were peak. Those
didn't,
were so good.
Have any like crazy like popular consoles. I am a PC guy through and through. I think the biggest thing I had, or like that couldn't be compared to a console, is like a Tetris machine.
Okay.
I had a Tetris like handheld machine that
Dang.
I put so many hours into back in the day. But that's about it.
Dude, I love watching Tetris speedruns. they go crazy. I have no idea how they do that. I swear there was like a 10-year-old kid or something that broke the record because he like developed a new technique or something himself and was able to it was reached the last level because like Tetris does have an end to it. And he actually reached it.
There's a first one where he actually like I don't know the difference because I haven't looked into it, but there's a difference between the kill screen and then the end game. And I don't remember what the difference is between that because technically, like Roman on the internet, there was a guy who had beat, in quotations, Tetris, but then again, there was a guy who got to like the final kill screen, which many thought literally was impossible.
Yeah. I'm looking at it now. This kid is 13 years old from Oklahoma, becomes the first person to beat Tetris because I guess you just reached like such a high score that like your score literally just reaches like 9999999 and then it just freezes or something.
It's just the gambling machine at Lethal Company.
Exactly.
It just bugs out.
It goes negative.
Too much and then
What year was that in, by the way?
I think that was I just closed it. I think it said last year.
Last year.
Yeah,
it?
The
it was
first person to beat Tetris.
It was very recently.
Tetris is like
10
old. That's
10
bizarre
months
to me.
ago. Yeah, 10 months ago. So not even a year ago.
That is so crazy that nobody's ever beat
Yeah,
Tetris
Tetris has
until now.
been so
And that's been
so old.
That's been over
Hold on, I gotta look up.
30 years, right? I think it came out in the 80s.
Tetris created
You have to have been more than 30 years.
1985.
Yeah, so that's
Almost 40
40.
years.
Goodness.
insane.
38, 39 years. And then a 13-year-old beats it. That is so just
It just
our
shows
generation.
it just shows the evolution of time, though.
I bet some
Yeah.
60-year-old Tetris fanatic is pissed right now. This
He's like,
13-year-old kid.
I was
who
going
does
to be
he
the
think he
one.
is?
I was going to be the one to do it. That was me.
He stole it.
The other kid's just playing Tetris. All of a sudden, a brick comes through his window with a note written attached.
It's me. I was supposed to be the one. You kids.
There are people just like actively spying on people like getting close to beating Tetris, and they just go to their house and stop them.
I wouldn't be surprised at this point if there's actually something like that.
There had to have been murders over Tetris.
Just like death threats over Flappy Bird. You'll remember those times.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
I never got to play Flappy Bird, like in its original form.
I was pretty obsessed with it.
You got to play it?
I got to play it. I didn't have a phone back then. I was like 12 or so.
Okay.
And on my mom's phone, like before and after school, me and my brother and sister would just dude, let me play Flappy Bird.
What was your high score?
It was like 35 or so.
Okay.
Wow.
I was thinking like maybe hundreds, but
I don't think I could get past 15, if I remember correctly.
It's a very frustrating game.
yeah.
But
I think, if I remember correctly, I think the reason why it got shut down and it's not on the App Store anymore is because literally the CEO or whatever company that made Flappy Bird got actual death threats.
Yeah.
it was just
Because
one guy,
it was so
wasn't it?
hard.
Yeah, I swear it was just like one guy who got like really mad at it and like started giving death threats.
To
somebody.
all I remember
Or-
is there were there were a certain number of death threats, and then it just shut down.
I think like the guy who made it was just one guy.
Yeah.
Just getting all these death threats, and he just couldn't take it anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought the way I heard the story was like his brother made the game, and then like this guy was playing it, and he like shouted like death threats at his brother or something, and that's why it was canceled. But I don't know. That's probably not it.
Damn.
But yeah, it's just like
That's really sad.
yeah. All right, next era. I guess we could go into GameCube.
I mean,
'Cause-
that's technically kind of the early 2000s era, isn't
Yeah.
it?
So we got GameCube. We
You
got
got-
like Super Monkey Ball, any Mario Kart,
I'm thinking like
there.
any of the early, like, you guys know.
Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Did you guys ever, when you went to the arcade,
Yeah.
you know those like big shooting like story mode games where you're
Oh,
in like
yeah.
the cart and you have like the two
Oh,
guns?
We had like
yes.
the physical guns.
Yeah.
I love that.
Like it's
My-
a whole simulator.
Yeah, there was one. It was one of the when they had did the. It was when the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie came out, or the third at a certain moment. They had one where it was essentially the last fight with Davy Jones on like the two ships going over the like the whirlpool. My mom hated that. Because there was a thing where Davy Jones gets essentially harpooned and he falls into the whirlpool.
Oh.
And it was pretty brutal.
Pretty graphic.
Yeah. And my mom goes, "Why are you watching that? You shouldn't be watching that." And then I'm like, okay, fair enough.
Fair enough. I remember one at like Brunswick Zone that was like a jungle one, and that one was like had huge insects and spiders.
Yeah.
I remember one, it was like in this one, it was like a safari jeep driving down like the middle of a jungle path, and like a spider is like its legs lift its body like over the canopy of the trees. It's like that huge. And I still have like, I don't have like nightmares, but I always have these thoughts. It's like, man, what if there's like just in one spot of the world, it's just really, really big insects. It's probably just Australia.
Oh, obviously. Of course, without a doubt.
But yeah, it's just the thought of that. It's just like, dang, that is ominous.
Do you just have like every like 6 months or something like that, you're just laying in bed and all of a sudden your eyes start open?
Yeah, just
you're
a
like,
crisis. Yeah.
Back in the
you're
day.
darting around. Where's the spider? Oh my gosh. Oh, thank goodness. I'm not in Australia anymore. Oh.
All that originated from that one game.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Scarred for life.
Yeah, literally. I played it once or twice maybe, or watched some people play it, and it just I saw that one scene, and it was scarred for life.
Damn.
They had a Jurassic Park one as well.
Did they?
They did at a certain point.
I guess that would make it good for a good simulator game.
But then I only played it like once or twice, and then I don't remember. It's sad. I don't understand why Chuck E. Cheese has an age limit.
What it does?
I think so.
Like a maximum, you mean?
Yeah, I think the maximum age limit to like actually go to Chuck E. Cheese is like 13. But they
what?
have exceptions for like being an adult if you have kids.
Yeah. I was gonna say, how are the parents gonna get in there?
I believe I'm correct. If I am
Oh,
not,
now I have to
I'm
have
looking
kids.
this up.
Well, isn't just Chuck E. Cheese just like not a thing anymore?
Well, there's still one off of 10 and University.
I remember I was
Really?
terrified of that.
It's where that old Kmart used to be. It's still
terrified
Oh.
of the mascot. The mascot freaked me out so bad.
Oh yeah.
I remember I think I like hid under a table once. Just because I was so freaked out by this giant mouse.
Well, Google is saying that I'm dumb because it's saying Chuck E. Cheese is a family entertainment center that welcomes people of all ages. So I don't know where I heard it had an age limit of 13, but okay, alrighty.
Maybe that's just for birthday parties.
I'm sure there's like a kids
age limit
area.
for employment. You must be at least 15 years old, and operating coordinators must be at least 18. That doesn't say anything about admission. But okay, fair enough.
That's like the opposite end of the scale. 13-year-olds are not going to be able to work at Chuck E. Cheese. Sorry. If you're 13 and out there and you wanted to work at Chuck E. Cheese, I'm sorry to break the news to you.
Some
Have
kid's
I-
dream
Can't
is
do it.
broken right now.
Have I just been like, I've been fooled. I don't
You've been bamboozled. You've been brainwashed.
I have. I have.
By Big Chuck E. Cheese.
Where did I learn
got you.
about that? The internet, of course.
Yeah,
Duh.
it's some place
Never
on the
believe
internet.
anything you see on the internet, kids.
Unless it's Wikipedia. Wikipedia is the
course.
most trusted source on the internet, bar none.
Oh boy. Oh,
All right.
boy.
Anyways, back to GameCube.
I love Chuck E. Cheese.
But
What else?
early 2000s, I don't know. I mean, you had GameCube. A lot of those were sports related,
Yeah.
which are okay.
Like
if you're into
backyard
sports.
football.
When
Dude,
was
that game was sick.
When was Super Mario 64 released?
19. I'm gonna
Uh-oh.
guess this.
Super Mario 64.
I know it was before 2000. I think Sunshine was
Released
released before
date.
2000.
1994. I'm calling it.
1996.
Dang it!
You're very close.
Okay,
Yeah.
well now I got to remember it's a Michael Jordan year. He won. So
You remember
that's how
dates
I will
by
make the
Michael
connection.
Jackson.
when was Super Mario Sunshine released?
Super Mario Sunshine release date.
2003.
Whoa.
Like 1999?
2002.
2002.
One
okay.
year off. Dang it.
So it was literally about a month and a half after my birthday, after I was born. Dang. Now I feel old.
I almost said lucky for some reason.
That was 2 years before I was born.
Yeah.
I
Dang, that was
always
crazy.
thought Super Mario 64 seemed like the really old one because it's all janky graphics. Sunshine seems like
Yeah.
the new one. Sunshine seems like it released like 2008.
Nope.
But it's
yeah.
a lot earlier than I thought.
It was pretty advanced for 2002.
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you that. But I guess anything Nintendo was pretty advanced for where it was. So
True.
I guess I'm not surprised that it was so successful.
I think Super Mario 64 is like the last line where I hate old games. I despise old games.
Anything post Super Mario 64.
Yeah.
You appreciate
after
it.
that, because Super Mario Sunshine seems fine. I've never played
Yeah.
it, but it seems like
Oh, you haven't played it?
I have not.
It's one of the greatest games ever.
I want to though. I tried playing 64 and it sucks. I'm sorry to say it, but it's way too hard to control. But Sunshine seems fine.
Yeah. Sunshine is good. What about oh wait, no. Was it a Wii game or a GameCube game? I can't remember. I think it was a Wii game. You guys ever played Super Mario Sluggers?
Oh,
The baseball game?
oh yes,
I have not.
yes.
This
sir.
game was so good because you would just play against the AI and then just get to like 99 score and then automatically win.
I felt like prime Barry Bonds every time I played. And then once I struck out, I knew I was never making it into the league.
Yeah.
Do you think you could actually make it into the Super Sluggers baseball league if you were put into the game?
How do you mean? Like if I was a character?
If you were a
in that
character
story?
in that story, would you
Oh yeah,
would you
definitely.
be able to play?
Yeah, I'm definitely getting there.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough.
I'm like your star center fielder, and I have some weird power up.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't know what it would be.
fair enough.
But
Yeah. I can see that.
maybe it's like a volcano of Mountain Dew just comes below my feet and blasts me over the center field wall to rob a home run.
Is that your ultimate?
Yes.
That's dope.
All right, next era. I guess we'll finish with this era, kind of the PC game era, kind of where we're at now. Starting
big
with,
jump.
obviously, Minecraft, the greatest
Oh, of
game ever.
course.
When did you guys first start playing Minecraft?
Oh man.
Ooh, that's tough. I played
It was released 2007?
Ooh,
2007.
I might be dating that back a little bit. I
When
can't
was
remember.
Minecraft released?
When was Pocket Edition?
2009.
2009. Okay.
Was Pocket Edition 2011?
Pocket Edition, yeah, probably around then. Maybe a little later.
Minecraft Pocket. Oh,
But yeah, I remember I started playing in, I think, 2014. And I would sit on our office computer with my brothers, and we each had our own world. It was just like M world, B world, J world or something. And we just all watch each other just play. I don't know. It was just such a brotherly thing to do, but I don't know. That was a lot of fun.
I have very good memories of Minecraft. Often I wish I could go back to like what
Yeah.
I used to think about Minecraft.
Uh-huh.
I remember being so just baffled about the multiplayer section. Like I could not figure out what to do there.
Yeah.
But I found like I hope I'm remembering this right, but I found just a card on the ground just in public. I think it was at school. And it was just a Minecraft IP for the World of Lights Minecraft server.
What? The
And I was
World of
like-
Light?
The World of Light.
Okay.
It was this Minecraft server, and it gave me the IP. I think I just found this random card on the ground with an IP, and I was like, yo, okay, I'm gonna plug this into Minecraft. That was my first multiplayer experience ever.
Dang.
And it was like,
Were there people online?
there was.
Dang.
It completely like blew my mind that I could play online with people. Like I was very young.
Yeah.
And just this like divine experience of finding this card on the ground and then finally getting the key to play with other people.
Yeah.
It was magnificent.
I was always a little scared to hit the multiplayer button until I had like my own account. Actually, no, I started playing on my brother's account, and I remember him always telling me like, just be careful with chat, just don't chat. Like he was always scared of me like saying something stupid or I don't know, leaking credit card information somehow.
If there's a world of light, that obviously implies that there's a world of darkness.
That's the real world.
Yeah,
That was so deep.
that's exactly what it is.
I love the World of Light. I wish I could go back. I think it's deleted now.
No,
It's just memories.
shame.
I don't know. It's weird with the new sort of like it makes me think with how technology has passed throughout, every decade.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's such a tonal shift with how quickly everything is now.
Yeah.
I'm wondering because people are saying that there's people that are going to. I can't speak. Great, yay!
Long day. Okay.
People are thinking that Ready Player One, sort of that like intermingling, almost like whatever the metaverse sort of style VR chat, that is fully going to be available within like the next
I hope so.
10 years.
Have
You hope
seen-
so?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I feel like
Why?
that's such a
That's a
disconnect from
horrible
actual
idea. Have you
reality.
Have you seen those or like complete immersion? I more so like would love to see. Have you seen those just like 360 like treadmills
Oh yes,
that you
I
can
have
put a
seen-
VR headset on? It straps
Yeah.
you on in the center, and then you can just run like
Yeah.
full tilts, and then you move in the game, and you can like turn 360. That looks incredible to me.
Yeah.
I'd love to try that.
I think
You're-
those experiences, but like living life in
I could do
in
that.
VR.
So you're telling me, Benny,
Yes.
that you would rather live in a dystopian world where you have to make a living off of playing stupid VR challenges to earn actual real life currency
you
so that
kidding
you
me?
can survive. And if you don't, you either lose everything, you become broke, you become a hobo, a bum, and you have to forage on the streets for food.
Yeah.
And you still want to be in it?
Like
Yeah.
free guy.
I'm blue pilled. I would love to live in a paradise, like a fake paradise for the rest of my life. That sounds awesome.
Fair enough.
Screw
right.
the real world.
All right. Well, if that comes to be, you can be like the clinical trial experimentation
I would love that. I'll be first in line.
of that reality. Dang. But yeah, now we all play a lot of games together. We play a lot of Jackbox games together. We play a lot of Steam games together, which is basically, for those who don't know what Steam is, it's kind of a program, kind of like a host that has its own store that you can play a lot of games through, kind of like a little gateway to a
Like
lot
a
of games.
library.
Yeah, pretty much. So, but yeah, we play a lot of games on there. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to like go into what all those games are when, I mean, we're already like so much into this episode, but also a lot of people won't understand, and probably will get an email from Mr. Teen saying nobody cares about the games you play or something like that. So
good, we better.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining me on this Takeover podcast.
No,
and
thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I just realized that this is the first time we've said thank you, and I feel so dishonored that I have failed myself.
No, guys, it's okay. Well, thank you for having such a great time with me. It's tradition for our guests to sign out this podcast. You can just say thanks for listening to the 245 podcast at the same time, so you both speak at the same time, and then you can just say, thanks for listening to 245 podcast and have a great day or something, and then I'll say my thing.
Okay, so we say thanks for listening to the 245 podcast.
Or you can put your own spin on it. I don't really care.
Thank you.
Thank you
for listening. To the 245 podcast.
All right, well, that was Zeke and Benny. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll see you in the next round.
Have a good one.